guys, it's Sammy and today I'm going to be bringing you my wrap up and haul for May 2016. So starting off with the haul, I bought 2 books this month and I also got some bookish goodies sent to me. The 2 books I bought this month are The Crown by Kales and The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I actually read The Crown this month, so I will discuss that further in my wrap up, and I also made a review for it. This is the first video on my channel and I will link it down below, and if I can figure out the annotation things, I will add it there as well. I also picked up The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson because I plan to binge read all of Morgan Matson's books this summer, so I had to add this one to my collection. The next thing I have to haul for you guys are coloring bookmarks that I received from KalesKorner after I won a challenge on her book battles episode 5, and I was so excited to win these because I'm in desperate need of new bookmarks because my recent bookmark that I've been using forever had just broke, so I'm in the process of coloring them. The theme of these bookmarks are cities of the world, so I'm so excited to just color them and have some fun. So thank you, Kales, I am so thankful for these. So now let's get to the wrap up. This month I read 4 books. The first one that I finished was The Crown by Kales. I bought this on the first day it came out, which was May 3rd, I believe. So I read this in one night and I was obsessed with it. I read it front to back in just one sitting, basically, and I really did enjoy this. I do have a couple comments to make because my opinions have changed since I first made my review. When I first made my review, I had just finished The Crown and I was a little biased because I was still getting over all the emotions of the series finally being over. I do have a couple of complaints about this book. Mostly my complaints center around that it just didn't seem finalized. There just was a lot of loose ends. I didn't really like how it ended. I felt very rushed. I feel like it just could have been a lot longer. Originally in my review I said I gave this book a 4 or a 4.5 stars. I have recently bumped that down to 3 stars, both for The Crown and The Heir, and I am sad about it, but I have realized now that looking back, as enjoyable as I found these books, they are just not as well thought out as I would hope they would have been, especially since I found the first 3 books in the series very thought out and very thought-provoking, and these just didn't cut it for me, so I bumped these down to 3 stars. So the next book I finished was Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is the 3rd and final book of the Infernal Devices series. Just to sum it all up without being too spoilery, this was just a continuation of the last 2 books. Basically, Belle, Jem, and Tessa continuing on their adventure to stop the evil that is through this book. This book tore me apart. I have so many emotions about this book. I gave it 5 stars, of course. As you can see, I have all these tabs that mark my favorite parts in the book. Just overall, I really love this book. If you're contemplating starting the Infernal Devices, I really recommend it. It's so much better than the first 3 Mortal Instruments in my humble opinion. In the series you can really tell how far Cassandra Clare's writing has come from, especially from the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments. It's just so apparent. Her writing has changed so much and it's so much more mature in these books, and I really adored that. I really want to do a review for the Infernal Devices, but I'm curious if you would be interested in that. So leave a comment down below if you would like to see my thoughts on the Infernal Devices. And the next book I finished this month was actually on my phone, and I read it like an ebook, and that book was Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. So Hopeless by Colleen Hoover was a wild ride for me. So I'd actually spoiled myself for this book a little bit because back in March I had actually read Finding Cinderella, which is a novella after the events in Hopeless happened. So I was spoiled for the whole big secret in this, so I guess that does affect my rating. But basically Hopeless, and I'm just going to read the description on Goodreads because I'm not sure I can even put into words what this book is about. It's not exactly confusing, but it is intense and there is a lot to it. So the Goodreads says, sometimes discovering the truth can leave you more hopeless than believing the lies. That's what 17-year-old Skye realizes after she meets Dean Holder, a guy with a reputation that rivals her own and an uncanny ability to invoke feelings in her she's never had before. So basically that more or less sums up the book. There are so many secrets in this book that have to be uncovered, and it really was interesting for me, but I think because I was spoiled for this book that I didn't enjoy it as much as I probably would have. I actually only gave this book a 3 stars, which is actually quite low for me. So this book was definitely not my favorite. Even though I was spoiled, I really just didn't like the writing style in the beginning, and I know this is one of Colleen Hoover's first books, so I'm hoping in her later books such as Ugly Love, Confess, and November 9 that her writing style is better, because in the beginning I found her writing style to be very childish. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would have. And the last book I read in the month of May was Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. So this book was an emotional roller coaster. I believe this was my first historical fiction that I've ever read, and I adored it. I really loved Ruta Sepetys' writing style. It was just above and beyond. I loved the multiple perspectives in this. It was just so good. This book was so amazing. I'm actually in world history right now in my school, and I found that this matched up really well with what we're learning right now, even though it was kind of shocking to find out that the big event in this book I had never been taught, and that is a big problem, is that we are never taught about the happenings in this book. book, and I found that really depressing in a way because I felt like I had been lied to. But overall, this book was so beautiful. I loved the side characters. I loved the main characters, except one. There's one character in this book, and I'm sure you'll pick up on it. It's not exactly spoilery, because I'm sure everyone hated him throughout this book, but other than him, I found this book really enjoyable. Sometimes I will admit that I really wanted to skip the one perspective in this book because it just made me so upset. Like, this book brings out so many emotions in you. I really admire Rita Sepetys for all she does in order to produce a novel. I even read the back where she described how she got all this information, all the trouble she went through with historians and traveling, and it really is fascinating. Oh my god, I so recommend this book. If you have not read this book, please do. I've gave this 5 stars. Alright guys, so that is all for my May haul and wrap up. I hope to see you guys next week or whenever I upload my next video. I'm so lucky to have 40 of you. That is astounding to me. I've only been on here for 3 weeks and I've already have 40 subscribers, so thank you, and bye!